Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for tuning in for Sealaska Heritage Institute's September 1st Friday Virtual Artist in Residence Q&A. Tlingit kleinach dushla yuchat duetsauk, gleka kleinach jzeller yuchat duetsauk. My Tlingit name is Cat Mother. My English name is Jay Zeller. I work at Sealaska Heritage Institute, and it is my pleasure to introduce Pattrick Price. Pattrick Price is Tlingit, born and raised in Southeast Alaska. He's been immersed in the culture, art, and songs of his heritage, which reflect in his art and storytelling. Pattrick was a teaching artist pre-COVID and now works from home and producing paintings and stories. If you have any questions, please type them in the comments and I'll read them off to our guest. Pattrick, thank you for joining us today.
Satuati, Tlingit kanach, kayanach, hatu sauch, Tlingit ka, kenach, Pattrick Price, Yochat du sauch, Yechnachat sati, Kiksadi ayachat, Kashkana auch ayachat, Kagwantan yadi ayachat, Gushklen. Hello, my Tlingit name is Kayanach. I'm a raven from the Frog House in Wrangell, and my father was Eagle Wolf. His name was Gushklen Cookie Price. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today.
All right, so just to kick things off a little bit, I'm gonna ask you a couple of broader questions. First off, how did you get into artwork?
I first started getting into artwork as a child. My father was an artist along with his father as well. And he raised me on an island about 2 miles offshore from Cake, Alaska. And so being out on the island, there was plenty to do. But as being an artist, my dad was just the biggest influence on that. And he was always hooking me up with his markers or colored pencils, colored pieces of paper, encouraging me to read comic books even, and and just encouraging me to art anywhere I could. And that just continued on through life.
All right, my next question is, what is your favorite thing about art? What drives you as an artist?
See, my favorite thing that drives me as an artist, this particular style that I work with in form line. Some of the Tlingit form line is some of the oldest known art form in North America, and what drives me as an artist is being able to continue my culture through this art form, as well as make it my own style, and being able to take that old school art form with a new school style and put it together to create my art that's totally unique to just me. So that's what really drives me, is being able to create something new using different mediums. Also being able to present this ancient art form to a new age world and hopefully have it be accepted.
You mentioned different mediums. What kind of mediums are you into? What have you explored with?
Recently, I've been doing a lot of canvases. As you can see, these canvases behind me are some great examples of some of the canvases I've been doing. I've also been working on wearable art and also stickers. Another one of my mediums is a wall. I like to do murals, and let's see, I got an artist's profile on a website called Urban Canvas, which helps me find mural jobs throughout where I live. Also, touch back on the wearable art thing. My best friend and I are in the process of creating and producing this particular hat that I'm wearing now. And also painting, I paint on different pieces of wearable art. Another example is this hat that I'm currently working on. I just put this together last night. And so I'll be working on more stuff like this for the artist videos that I'll be producing for Sealaska Heritage Institute.
All right. Why do you think art is important in our culture, and how has continuing to work in the art kept your connection to it?
Wow, it's so important for Tlingits to continue this art, to keep the culture alive. My father told me stories of people being disciplined for speaking their native tongue or for producing art in his era, and that wasn't too long ago. So it seems like a lot of folks in that generation were told not to do this amazing, beautiful thing and to speak our own language or to produce art like we have. So yeah, continuing on as an artist and trying to be able to teach this as well has been very important to carry along the culture. Also, being one of the oldest art forms in North America, it's just cool to see it continue as well throughout, and it's still recognized very, very a lot, and people are seeking after it. It's highly sought after. People really want to see this art form on their walls and to see it produced. So I like to see kids drawing and painting a lot too. So being a teaching artist, was able to do a mural camp last year and had 14 students paint this giant mural, and it was just beautiful to see them all come together and make this super awesome design. And in Northwest Coast foreign line style. And it's just great to see everybody come together as a community like that and produce something that's it's been happening for thousands of years.
You say mural, and so my question is, do you prefer working on a much larger scale or something that's within your arm's reach, like the canvases behind you? Like, which one do you prefer to do more?
Wow. Either or is fine with me. I find myself making these teeny tiny little drawings. and I'll just start doodling. I'll be like, hey, that's actually really cool, and just like doodle it and make this small little drawing. And on paper it might turn out to be like 4 inches by 4 inches or something, and I'm like, wow, that's such a cool design, but it's so small. It's so small. How am I gonna even paint that? How do I gotta get really tiny paintbrushes or something. But no, but then to be able to take something like that and blow it up in my mind. I don't even use projectors really. So just to blow it up and make it to something much larger. So it's a challenge, but it's a lot of fun. I like to use both. So I'll do teeny tiny little art or big art, medium art, any size art. And it's just all how you see it. You can take something teeny tiny, like the sticker that I got. I'll show off the stickers too that I make. These little stickers here, and like this is only like 5 inches, but it started out the size of my actual hand. And I'll take stuff like that and make it even larger as well on like a painting and stuff. So I like working in all size stuff.
Speaking of your work, I see the paintings behind you. Can you tell us a little bit more about either of them?
Yeah. So with some of my most recent art, I've been leaning away from using traditional colors, being the black and the red and the was the copper oxide or turquoise. Some people call it turquoise. So I've been leaning away from using those traditional colors that I've used my whole life, basically. For 30 something years, I've been using just the basic colors. just maybe in the last 3 or 4 years, I've kind of broken away from that, using more I don't know, colors that I connect to more. I really like a lot of blues, purples, pinks, even bright greens and stuff. And so, so you could say it kind of went a little abstract, also with my designs, leaning again away from more traditional styles, where I'm creating these awesome pictures of, say, like a wolf, or like a keet, a killer whale, or an eagle, and making stuff that's more just based on the shapes and designs all put together. And so, say like this one behind me is my depiction of self-organizing criticality. So an example of self-organizing criticality, and what I had in mind when I made this painting is um, the ripples under the waves next to the beach. So the ripples under the water that the sand makes under the waves. Takes me more time to explain it than it does to actually just, ta-da-da. So that was just like, an idea that I had kicking around, and it doesn't necessarily depict a specific moiety or clan or crest in any kind of way. It's just ripples of sand water. So I was taking ideas like that, and then putting them all together, and kind of just going crazy with it, just having fun. This other piece behind me is kind of more of um, a psychedelic kind of concoction of just the original ovoids and split U's and S shapes of traditional style, but all kind of melded together and squished and warped, and with a lot of color. The cool thing about these two designs behind me is, well, um, this design here is in like standard space. All of the shapes, the ovoids and the split U's and all that are all painted in individually. The one over my left shoulder is all painted in negative space, which means that I just left the background and was able to paint the actual negative space around the shapes that I was choosing to put on there. So I've been doing some far out stuff like this, as well as more traditional stuff as well. Like I don't know, the last painting that I was commissioned for was a hummingbird. And you'll see that on my artist profile of me, like the big smile, painting the hummingbird there. So I switch back and forth. However, more recently, yeah, I've been leaning more towards using a lot of really bright colors.
Hummingbird was pretty bright too. So,
Yeah.
do you have any advice for aspiring artists? A lesson that you wish you'd learned when you were just starting out?
Wow. I would say, no matter what, try to practice every day. And there's points in my life where I was I'd get distracted, and even if it's picking up a napkin at the lunch table and doodling on that, it's like try to practice this art form, your art form every single day, make time for it, and feel like there's a few times there in my life that I kind of fell through the cracks on it, where I was like get caught up in something else, or but what it came down to is like now that I'm pursuing this lifestyle as a professional artist, I wish I'd never put a pencil down when I was younger. I wish I'd taken more time to take more art classes, or to take the time to go see more people's art out there who also do the same thing. So yeah, that would be my my input. Just keep practicing.
Wise words. All right, we've got a question from Kari Groven. What do you draw your inspiration from when you're creating art?
Oh, what I draw my inspiration from is just so many things. Um, like right before I start on an art project, I'll look for inspiration in other people's work, and I'll go online and go through the social media platforms and find other people that are doing the same kind of art as me, same form line and whatnot, and look for inspiration there, and be like, oh, that's super cool, so and so did this kind of, I've never seen that before. Hopefully I'll be able to bring something like that to the table as well. Like people will see my stuff and be like, whoa, I've never seen that stuff before. And um, so I'll find a lot of inspiration in other people's work as well. Also music. A lot of artists do listen to music while producing their stuff. My partner is a DJ, so that kind of just falls in right into place there. I'll just hear music and be like, wow, this is art, this is awesome. Either I want to dance, or I want to sit down and draw, or create. Also find inspiration in nature, and just getting out and being in the trees, being next to streams or waterfalls or lakes, with my best friends, my partner, and my doggy. We always get out, so they're all very inspirational to me. Being in the garden with the chickens, everything, that's a huge inspiration as well.
Are there any, aside from like murals that you were saying, have you practiced carving or I think before we started, you mentioned a totem pole that you'd been working on. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh yeah, yeah. So one of my mentors was in Sitka, Alaska. His name's Tommy Joseph, and he was working on a memorial pole that is it's in the battlegrounds at the Sitka National Historical Park. I got to chip away on that a little bit, as well as pose for the for the artist's take on his depiction of that totem pole as well. Um, so yeah, I did some work like that. Uh, Also, I've done a lot of carving. I've carved masks. Um, Most recently, um, I carved some rifle stocks, some wooden rifle stocks. Quite a few, actually. So there's quite a few people out there with carved wooden rifle stocks for me. Um, yeah, that's I love working in that medium as well. It's not just like a two-dimensional piece of paper that you can draw on. It's full shape, and you get to use the whole of it. Three-dimensional aspect is pretty cool in carving. I should do that more, actually.
You mentioned one of your mentors. Can you tell us more about some of the other key teachers or mentors in your art?
Absolutely. My father being my first, he was he was my favorite teacher in the whole world. He was such a good guy, and he always had a big old giant smile on his face too, and just always encouraged me to be artistic, and to like to take the time to do something new and cool, and to challenge myself. So definitely my biggest mentor was my father. His brother is actually a famous woodworker, artist, canoe carver, totem pole carver, and he also taught me a lot. So a lot of my family has been there to support me during this, and they've all been mentors in a way. Great teachers. I gotta say, family is the best thing to have as a kid, to be able to if you have people point you in the right direction, right?
How is it working on native artwork and keeping up with your culture when you live outside of Alaska?
Oh wow. I have to say that I really do miss Alaska. There's a lot of things with the culture and the subsistence lifestyle there that I really miss. I have to say that I broke away from all that by moving down here to the States, to Oregon. So I was able to move away from a lot of the things that Alaska had to offer, but but in doing so, it was just a turn of the page for me, as an opening of a new book, even where I have experienced art in a whole new way down here. That there's just been so much inspiration from street artists, local galleries, First Friday art walks and stuff like that. That was all pre-COVID. Now, now that this COVID pandemic has just erupted, a lot of people are sheltering, staying at home, staying safe. So I kind of been doing the same. It's just been staying at home, but at home with the chickens and in the garden, gives me a lot of time to do my homework, my research as well. Being able to look at artists that I knew from the past, also looking into emerging artists that are all based with this form line style art, and being able to connect with them as well, and it's actually been kind of a beautiful thing, kind of stuck at home, staying at home, but also have the time to look at my my device and meet somebody new online or something, or check out somebody else's stuff online as well. So yeah, sheltering at home really opened the doors for that.
We have another question from the comments. Stephen Villano asks, what do you feel is the most important thing for artists to keep in mind when they're making innovations?
Innovations, like with the art,
I think more like you're exploring more in a form line with various colors and not necessarily sticking to the tradition. So
yeah.
That
one of the most important things to keep in mind is I think there's a lot involved with formline art that goes along with culturally representing certain tribes and certain groups of people that are culturally represented by these shapes that people are drawing. As an artist, in my earlier years, really focused on staying very specific about being culturally representative to what designs I drew, and really tried to stay more traditional, with the same colors, black, red, and copper oxide. So it's all very important to stick with what but also to keep in mind that we're all individuals and we're all different, and we can all have something to add, and and we don't have to be the same cookie cutter artist that folks are expecting when they go to Alaska and they're like, here's what this is, and here's what you can buy, and and keep in mind that it's all very important. It's all very important to represent this art form in the right manner, to be respectful about it. But you can be super respectful about this, but also have fun with it.
Bring back a little bit to the works you have behind you. We have a question from Nina Howell. What type of medium is the blue behind you? So you said that they're canvas, but do you use acrylic or oil paints, or what kind do you work with?
So with a lot of my paintings, I will do a standard acrylic wash background. It's been more recent that I've been using spray paint. So spray paint's a good way for me to get that on there really quick, and that always goes really quick. But these paintings behind me are all acrylic.
Uh, Another question I have is how do you use like social media to promote your artwork? Because that's very hard for a lot of artists to get their work out there. So, what have you done to try and push it?
Oh, wow, okay. Um, I think with social media, it's easy to get caught up and in the whitewash, say, of social media. So been trying to be selective about what I put on there, and try to just make a not a whole bunch of posts of like my progress throughout, but like one good like well defined picture shot of of a final product or something, um and so people just see like finished finished work, so it's because the process is kind of just what it's a slow going thing sometimes, and it's not always fast, it's not always super productive, um but uh but as far as social media goes, let's see here. I'll post a picture of like a finished product and either say for sale or already sold. Um, Also, there's like different different ways to promote myself. Uh, in my storyline or for my stickers and stuff. So it's also good to get normal human being posts on there as well of me having fun by the lake with my doggy, but also to prove that I'm human. and and that's but to get to like promote art, um yeah, social media has been great. I mean, like Facebook has been a great medium for promoting my art, for getting it out there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, can you tell us more about your hat? Because I've seen quite a few comments about how awesome it is, and I'd like to hear more about how did you even get the idea to start putting your work on clothing?
So I moved down to Oregon about 3 years ago, and one of my best friends down here is a street artist, and he is starting a hat company, where he's taking some of these street artists and various artists from all over the world, all over the states and stuff, and creating custom lids. And so he got together with me on a few different designs, and then he actually saw one of my designs that's right behind me here, this one, and he was like, can we do something with that? And so we spent weeks really, taking different cutting sections of that design and putting it on like templates for what this hat would be. And so this is a sample that we just got, and so we were able to design each part of the hat. This is what they let's see here. This has got, let's see here, six, five, yeah, five different sections. And as you can see, it's just part of my design that's been cut into each of those sections. We're even able to design the inside of it with some just super fancy materials, even design the tag myself and the underbrim. Um, so this hat is the sample that I got back from the company that says, hey, is this how you want your hat? This is what it's going to look like. So we're just in the process of ordering that, and so this hat will be available soon to the public. Um, Also, I paint hats as well. So this is kind of where my best friend and I came up with the ideas. We were just painting hats together, and and he decided that he wanted a whole line of them. So I'll show off this hat again. Is one of the hats that I'm painting, and I'll paint the underbrim as well as the face of the hat. And I don't know if you can see all that kind of stuff. But these hand painted hats, they're all one of a kind, you know. So it's, yeah. Projects.
Awesome works. We have another comment question. Daniel Evanson asks, serious question. Have you ever made any projects outside of Sealaska contracts or for someone independent? If so, was there any conflict from those outside projects?
Yeah. So let's see here. When I first moved down here, I got really big in with the Oregon Country Fair. And they have a booth there. It's called the Ritz Sauna and Showers, and it's basically two giant saunas with like public shower rooms, a stage for dancing, and the whole place is just completely decked out with Northwest Coast native style art. So before I showed up, they had a story pole, um, which they're about to erect, which caused some conflict with the local band of natives, and they call it cultural appropriation, and that it's that they weren't allowed to erect this pole because it was misrepresenting the tribes in the area. So they got a lot of backlash from the native communities about that. So they all out stopped producing new art for the Ritz Sauna and Showers until I showed up. And so I was able to show up and be like, hey, I hear this thing about cultural appropriation and about about what's going on here. I don't want to be involved with the politics. However, I do want to represent in a real way. Um, and so I became the resident artist, and it's a huge step to be able to become somebody's main artist for this style of art, and to not have people people reach out to me about cultural appropriation and stuff. And it's not cultural appropriation if I'm Tlingit and representing my clan and my tribe and my people, and able to do it in this amazing space with these amazing people. And so yeah, it's all gone really smooth, and I've done a lot of projects with them, and a lot of really, really big projects. So some of the biggest art pieces that I've created has been for the Ritz Sauna and Showers, and it's for all these people to enjoy while they're bathing and getting clean from the fair scene. And I'm quite proud of my work there, and it shows in the work too, and that's more traditional style that I did there as well, because I felt like I was representing my clan, my tribe. So those are the images that I chose to paint and to create there was of my own clan, and so totally representing, right?
Nice. Getting our culture out there. We have another comment question. How does designing wearable art differ from designing murals? And is there like different step-by-step process that you go through it, or do you pretty much go through the same, whether regardless of what medium you're doing with?
Yeah, it all basically starts out in my drawing book, you know. Whether it's wearable art, say basically with this like hat design, I took a two-dimensional image and was able to put it on in each one of those panels for the three-dimensional hat. As far as murals go, I just take a smaller image and rethink it bigger. um, yeah, I don't know. I hope that answered the question.
All right. Is there a piece that just became like your favorite to work on? Just like you loved every second of it, the design, it turned out perfectly. Have you ever had a piece like that?
Ooh. I think that the hummingbird design that I came up with, a few people had already been creating hummingbird designs in formline art style. But this particular one was just like how I saw it and what I wanted to work with. And so far, like I drew that, and it was just like a little 5x5 little drawing. And then my friend was like, I love that. And she got it tattooed on her arm. Like, and I was like, hey, that looks really cool. And my friend saw a picture of that and was like, hey, I want you to recreate this in our music studio. And so in the hallway in this music studio is this giant depiction of the exact same hummingbird that was just so easy for me to do again, because I was like, I already drew this. And so recreated this hummingbird to like 8 feet tall and giant wing, 10-foot wing, like huge hummingbird. And then was able to, somebody else saw a picture of that and was like, I love that. I want it on my wall, and commissioned me to paint it again. So that particular design has really reached out, called to a lot of people in a good way. And it's always been fun to to paint that for somebody, or make a tattoo for them or something. That same design has just been fun to do.
Best feeling is when people look at your artwork and just like they gotta have it. Another common question is, what are you hoping to do in the future as an artist? And do you have like a dream project that you want to work on?
Wow. I'm looking to continue creating these kind of abstract designs, as well as stick to traditional styles. Kind of going back and forth on that, but it's it's important to keep practicing the traditional stuff, as well as expand my mind to create something new and different. A huge dream that I've had is billboards with my artwork on them, 100-foot billboards up in the air, entire sides of buildings with my artwork, huge, giant, long hallways just stacked with my artwork all the way down them. Yeah, I'm trying to dream big. I want to keep doing small stuff like this and the wearable art thing, but yeah, I definitely want to do a lot of murals.
Shoot for the stars, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see. So you've said that you have art books and stuff. Do you have do you keep all the sketches that you do? Are there ones that you just sketch out and they never become a larger piece? Or do you try and finish all of the ideas that you get?
Oh, right. Um, that's a good question. I actually wouldn't mind going back through some of my old sketchbooks and seeing what's in there, and see what I haven't created, or see what I haven't used recently, I guess. I guess I do. Yeah, I keep most of my stuff, even stuff from when I was just a kid. And it's always really cool looking back through my books. Sometimes I'll just flip to a section of my drawing book and just be like, oh, hey, look at that, I want to do some more on that or something, and recreate. So yeah, totally. I always go back to my old stuff.
We have a few more questions. How do you balance the traditional and the contemporary Northwest Coast art styles?
Traditional and contemporary, huh? Well, I guess just having a huge respect for the traditional, whilst whilst taking an adventure with it as well. um I I love the traditional stuff, and I'm always going back and looking at traditional work for inspiration. So there's a huge balance there, is where I get my inspiration. Looking at the totems in Totem Park, or looking at the house posts, looking back at old photos of great grandpas from who knows when, who were, standing there in full regalia, and they got this giant piece of art behind them and stuff. And so I'm constantly looking back at stuff like that and be like, wow, that's so awesome. And I want to do that stuff myself. And I find myself always reaching back and doing some kind of traditional drawing again, and sticking to the traditional colors. But I always get sidetracked, and I want to add other colors to it as well. So yeah, I guess it all works together really well. It all fits together really well somehow for me. Mostly drawing inspiration from traditional stuff for my more contemporary, newer digs.
Another question from Nina. What do you think about a networking conference / showcase in Washington or Oregon?
Networking conference?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess it'd be pretty cool if it was socially distanced with masks. And yeah, I'm trying to be logical here. How much I wish being back into large groups of people and being able to network and communicate verbally and physically with everybody. I think it's amazing thing to have that kind of family feel, that family vibe. Get together for a potlatch, or family get-togethers and stuff. But it's just all really dangerous now with this COVID pandemic going on. So I'm really weary of going to larger spaces with people. However, deep down inside, I definitely want to be able to vibe off of other people and to make that networking happen for sure.
And how has COVID affected the time scale of your art? Like, have you done more art now that everyone's kind of trapped in their homes, or have you found that it's been harder to work without the social aspect of every day?
It's been kind of both. Being at home a lot really kind of gets me in the right place to work a lot on art. And lately I've been trying to designate a certain amount of hours per day or whatnot to be able to produce this art. So yeah, it's been really cool in that aspect, but also out there looking for inspiration. I miss my homies, I miss my friends, my family, everybody, and being around friends and family was like a huge inspiration for me as far as my artwork goes, and people telling me, hey, that was awesome, I saw that was so cool, and you should do that, you should tattoo that on me, or and so yeah, during this time it's been harder because you're not getting that from people, you're not getting that public input anymore, unless it's online, unless it's on a social media platform. Yeah.
You mentioned tattoos a few times. Have you made designs specifically just to become a tattoo, or have they all been works that you made that then people requested be turned into a tattoo?
Both, actually. I've had people come to me and say, hey, I want to commission you for a specific design with my clan or with my name, and those are harder ones to do because you're trying to take somebody else's idea and draw it up for them in a tattoo style, but also like the hummingbird tattoo is just like, my friend saw that and was just really inspired by it and really connected with it, and immediately went out and got it tattooed on herself on her arm. So yeah, so it's gone both ways for that.
All right. Let's see. Is there, How long would you say it takes you to complete like a canvas piece about the size behind you? Is it
Oh,
like hours, days?
a lot of time days, um, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, you know. Um, Sometimes I'm really inspired and it could just take days. But usually there's like the background making process, and then then I'll be another day, and then drawing the image on there in pencil, and then another day of like fill in, another, so it could go on for weeks really, and to create like a masterpiece size is, I mean, that hummingbird, it was so intricate and small with all of the different colors and little tiny spots. So um, the paint doesn't always just go on in one pass. Sometimes I'll have to go back with the same color paint and make multiple passes on each little spot. So sometimes it could take months. That hummingbird one took me took me about a month to do. But again, it was just finding the time to do it, um, trying to pay the bills as well, as well as being an artist. It's a little difficult during these times.
Have you found that you do more commission work, or do you do the painting and then sell it? Like
Mm.
find a buyer afterwards?
Again, that's one of those things that's kind of both. I've been getting a lot of people who have contacted me about commissions, as well as just wanting to try something new myself. So again, going back to those drawing books, and flipping through the pages and trying to be like trying to take an image that I've already drawn, or trying to draw up a new image or something. It's always just um, yeah, it's always kind of been that way. Uh, but the commissions have been kind of pouring in lately, so that's been a lot of fun making art for other people.
We have a follow-up question from Daniel Evanson. Don't have to answer sensitivity. Where's hold on? Big comment. When it comes to differences of traditional and contemporary, with opinions concerning designs, is there a priority for your art that you want to bring with you to see as an elder?
A priority to my designs. Um, I just want to be able to show the respect that I have for this style, for one of the oldest art forms known in North America. That it's totally been ingrained, and that I have this huge respect for it, and that I also want to take what I got and be able to show the world as well. So being able to hold that respect is super huge for me. Not being, and I don't want to take sides on it. But I just want to be able to represent culturally as a Tlingit, and with this art style, it's very important to me to maintain that cultural integration, that cultural stronghold, to hold it down, and to be that person for the tribe, to say, hey, this is, I'm an artist, and I'm moving my level up one more notch, and I'm making it big, and um, I can hold on to that, but also hold on to my, this culturally enriched, ingrained, um, beautiful thing, this Tlingit style art. It's awesome. I don't know if that really answered it. Did that really answer it?
I'm not entirely sure either. But last question for this evening is going to be, what are some challenges you experience as an artist, and what is your favorite part of being an artist?
Oh, let's see here. Challenge. Recently, the challenge has been with the COVID outbreak and um, not being able to go, explore the galleries and to see this art all with my own eyes. It's been a challenge for me that I haven't traveled to get the inspiration. I get a lot of inspiration from traveling as well, and so yeah, it's been a challenge for me in that aspect. So, but it's also been an inspiration to keep moving forward and keep my feet underneath me and to keep my pen to the notebook and to keep the paintbrush in the right jar. And one of the easy things for me to do is let's see here. Jeez, I guess with all the time on my hands, it's been real easy to really just go for it. To really just give it all. Um, yeah. Uh, it's a little more difficult these days getting some of the materials gathered to be able to produce my arts. Um, but also it's just been cool just chilling here in the garden and stuff and painting. So yeah. Kind of goes both ways.
All right, we've put the link in the chat, but I just want to make sure everybody knows, where can we buy your artwork and specifically those stickers?
Oh, okay. Okay, check out the link for the stickers. I'll hold one up here. The stickers you can get on my partner's webpage, ellatrashandthegoods.com. And you can click on the little button there. It has my artist's profile. There's a whole page there where you can buy these stickers. You can also find me on Facebook. And if you find me on Facebook, it's Pattrick with two T's, Pattrick, Pattrick, Price. And yeah, hit me up on Facebook, or I'm also on Instagram. And you can hashtag Pattrick Price Art. And yeah, those are good ways to get a hold of me.
All right, the rest of the videos in Pattrick's virtual residency will be available on the Sealaska Heritage Institute YouTube channel. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you Pattrick for answering our questions. Please join us again next week on Friday, noon Alaska time, and we'll discuss more a little on wearable art. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you. Ganesh Chish.
Noch